Am I ready? Am I ready to return to this game? I don't know if I'm ready. But I'm doing it anyway. Here we go. Anytomic Duel. Color gradually returned to my blacked out vision. The lab started to come back into focus. I could tell immediately that the world line had changed. I could still see Kursu when I closed my eyes, but she wasn't in the development room anymore. It was like the whole thing had been a daydream. I felt like I'd been caught in the boundary between dreaming and wakefulness. I was back. Back to a world without Kursu. This wasn't the Alpha World line. There was no point in even bothering to check. A moment ago, only Kursu and I had been in this room. And now, everyone was here.
おかり、どうしたの？具合悪い？
いや、大丈夫だ。
Mary.
お薬飲みますか？
平気だよ。心配ない。
Lukako. And
本当に無理しちゃダメだよ。
Kagari Shina. If Mayuri and Kagari were here, that meant I was back to the Beta World line.
ちょっと腹が減っただけだ。朝から何も食べてなくてな。
Huh. Seems like a motorcycle just came by my house.
もうオカリンさんたらダメだよ。ちゃんとご飯は食べなきゃ。ダルおじさんみたいに大きくなれないよ。
ああ、なるくらいなら一食抜いた方がマシだよ。
Huh?
だったらマユシーが何か作ってあげるよ。え、ママが作れるの？
What?
もう、かがりちゃんまでそういうこと言うんだから。これでもね、最近はユキさんにお料理教えてもらってるんだよ。
But wait, in the previous war line, Kagari didn't remember Mayuri was her mom.
あ、じゃあ僕が手伝うから。
待ってくれ。
すみません。僕、手伝わない方がいいですか？
いや、そうじゃない。そうじゃないんだ。
I looked around at everyone, and then back at Kagari.
かがりさん。
やだな、オカリンさん。私のことは、かがりでいいって言ってるのに。
Something was different.
じゃあ、かがり。さっき、まゆりのことをなんて呼んでたか聞いてもいいか？
なんてって、ママだよ。
どうして？
Here we go!
どうしても何も、ママはママだもん。ね、ママ。やっぱりそう呼ばれるの、ちょっと照れちゃうな。
I felt vaguely dizzy watching Mary fidget in embarrassment.
知ってるのか？二人とも未来の世界で親子だってことを。
かがりちゃんのことはオカリンが教えてくれたんだよ。
Oh! Alright, this is a different... Yes, this is definitely a different world line.
俺が？
本当のことを知っておいた方がいいって。ねえ。ねえ。
Did I really tell them? Did I tell them something so important?
じゃあもしかしてルカ子も。
ごめんなさい。僕聞くつもりはなかったんですけど、耳に入ってしまって。
Lukako lowered his head in apology. Wait, is Fubuki and Kaede there?
あ、でも大丈夫です。他の人には言ってませんし、それに僕ちょっとだけ嬉しかったんです。皆さんと秘密を共有できて。
Wow, we're in a timeline where Okame wasn't a fuck! This is the timeline where Okame decided not to be one.
本当は直接教えてもらえればよかったんですけど。
Oh, he was still being a fuck, but Lukako figured out anyway. Even Lukako knew about Mayuri and Kagari. Which meant that, of course.
でも驚きました。タイムマシンとか未来とかお話の世界のものだって思ってたんですけど、実現できるなんて。
He knew about the time machine. Evidently, I hadn't simply come straight back from the Alpha World line. I was in a world line slightly different from the one I'd been in before. The divergence meter I'd used before was gone now. That meant I didn't have a precise number, but this all felt very different. The problem was finding out what was the same as the old world line, and what was different.
カガリ、もう少し質問させてほしい。
Can we pull out our phone? Is Amadeus still there? Do we still have Amadeus? And also, where is Kaede and Fubuki? And is Daru here? Huh.
何？
I showered Kagari with questions in an effort to find out what was going on. Here's what I learned. Oh yeah, Kagari wasn't even in the room the first time around. She was downstairs with Suzaha and the Bronze. Well, the Tenojis, not the Bronze. First, Kagari retained her memories of her childhood. In other words, of the year 2036. She knew Mayuri, Daru, Suzaha, and also Ferris and Lukako. But as for what the world of 2036 was like, and how she'd become Mayuri's daughter, she hadn't told them the details about that. Fortunately, they hadn't seemed interested in knowing about their futures. Everyone always thinks they'd want to know what their future holds. But when the chance finally comes, fear outweighs your curiosity. The future wasn't always a happy thing. Knowing the future might destroy your dreams. It might be a death sentence, like it was for me. Some people will lose all sense of meaning in their lives if they knew there was something inevitably going to be a... Okay, I'm just gonna read this from the beginning. Some people will lose all sense of meaning in their lives if they knew there was inevitably going to be a war in which 5 billion people died.
それじゃあ、ここに来たのはルカ子の家に居候したのがきっかけで間違いないな。
っていうか、オカリンさんがママと引き合わせてくれたんだよ。覚えてないの？
いや、そういうわけじゃないんだが、一応確かめておこうと思ってね。
Okame!
一応ね。変なオカリンさん。
You're not good at faking things, Okame. Kagari going missing had happened almost exactly as I remembered it. The same was true of how she came to us. And
行方不明になっていた間は、 どこで何をしていたのか全然覚えていないのか。
うん、綺麗さっぱり。気づいたらお寺で寝かされてた。
She was still missing some of her memories too. In other words, in this world line, the only memories she had were of her childhood and of the last few weeks since she'd woken up in the Chiba Mountains. The most important part was still missing. Was there anything else I need to ask? I was staring at the floor, trying to think, when I realized that something was missing.
床が綺麗だ。
Oh? There's no raid!
あ、さっき岡部さんが来る前に掃除しておきました。
いや、そうじゃなくて、床に小さな穴が開いてたはずなんだが。
床に穴ですか？
The lab had been attacked just last night. During the attack, one of their bullets had left a dark hole in the floor.
穴なんて開いてたかな？なかったと思うけど。
There was no raid.
ちなみに、お前たち昨日は、どうだった？
昨日のパーティーのこと、すっごく楽しかったよ。あんなに楽しかったの、私初めてだった。
They wouldn't say that if there had been an attack, which meant that the attack had never taken place. Was no one after Kagari in this world? No, it was too early to assume that. I still didn't know what had happened when she'd gone missing. Until I did, I couldn't say for sure if she was safe. Just like how sometimes Mary's death would occur on different days in the Alpha World line, the same thing might happen a few days later. In fact, it would be better to be cautious.
またみんなでパーティーしたいね。その時は僕も何か作るよ。私も手伝う。
They all started happily talking about last night's party. At first glance, it was a peaceful scene, but something sinister might be happening, and I just didn't know it. No, if I knew something had to be happening, I knew something had to be happening. The fact that the world line was changing was proof. Why had it changed anyway? I thought back to the events of that night. First, someone had taken over Amadeus. Kursu had called me and asked for help. The world line had changed right after I answered, which meant that the key was Amadeus? Did Amadeus have something to do with the world line change? And what about the group who'd attacked Kagari? Was it all connected? Maybe I needed to find out.
ところで、かがりちゃん、時間大丈夫？あ、いっけない。休憩時間終わってた。店長に怒られちゃう。
Okay, so that stayed the same.
店長ということは、バイトしてるのか？
そうだよ。下のブラウン管工房で。って、この前言ったじゃん。
そうだったか。
In the old world line, Kagari had started working for Tenoji after the attack. Oh wow, that was a freeze. That was a game freeze. I'm gonna have to reset a few things real quick. Wow, that was another difference.
もう、今日のオカリンさんはボケボケだね。しっかりしてよ。
すまない。
Kagari hopped up and skipped out of the room. Her words and mannerisms were much more childless than they'd been in the last world line.
アルバイト、頑張ってね。はーい、それじゃ、行ってきまーす。
かがり、戻る前に、もう一つだけ聞かせてくれ。
I asked one final question to Kagari, who was now giving a crisp salute.
アマデウスという言葉を聞いて、何か思い当たることはないか？
アマデウス？
Kagari seemed to think for a moment.
ごめん、わかんないや。
そうか。
Speaking of Amadeus, I really want to see if we still have Amadeus in this world line, just in case. She didn't look like she was lying, or being sarcastic. She must really not have known. I watched her leave the lab, then took out my phone. There was another thing I needed to check. What was happening with Amadeus? It's gone! Oh my god, Amadeus is gone! Wait. Oh, okay, I don't know if I should click the screen, I'm just gonna read the text, but I was gonna see our contacts, but I should probably just read what's going on. I looked for the icon on my screen. Amadeus. The AI that held Kursu Makase's personality and memories. And the application, which started the program. But the program was... gone?
悪かったな。こんなところに呼び出して。
別に構わないわ。ちょうど近くまで来てたから。
After seeing the icon missing on my phone, I contacted Maho immediately. My goal, of course, was to see what was going on with Amadeus in this world. I had to find out.
で、話って？
Why as if he didn't join the trial? I don't think he joined the trial of Amadeus this time. Maybe, I don't know.
アマデウスのことだ。
Maho's eyes suddenly went wide. Her reaction surprised me as well. He wasn't even invited! He wasn't even invited to the trial! Oh! Oh no! I simply said the word Amadeus.
あなた、どうして知ってるの？
どうしてって、どういうことだ？
どうしてあなたがアマデウスのことを知ってるのよ？だってあのプロジェクトは去年の夏、クリスの事件があったあの後に凍結されたのよ。
凍結された？アマデウスが？凍結ってことはつまりプロジェクト自体打ち切られたってことか？
はっきり言ってしまえばそういうことね。
She clenched her fist in anger. It seemed the change in this world line was a big one. Yeah! I was actually surprised by that one too. This is not like the anime. This was not like the anime. The comments were right. This is definitely not like the anime. It seemed the change in this world line was a big one.
で、さっきの質問。どうしてあなたがアマデウスのことを知ってるの？
それは。
Should I tell her about the world lines and attractor field theory?
クリスから聞いたんだよ。大学の先輩がそういう研究をしてるって。
クリスが？あの子、あなたにそんな話までしていたのね。
I decided that it wasn't the time to tell her. If I tried to explain everything, I'd have to tell her about D-mail and the time machine. Maho didn't seem to know about all that yet. I could imagine what she'd do if she heard the truth. she was yet another one of those people who were interested by the possibilities of science. Entranced, not entranced. I mean, that's a pronunciation, I guess, but I think it's entranced, not entrance. I don't even know how I said the first time. Oops.
なあ、アマデウスが凍結されたっていう話、もう少し詳しく教えてくれないか。理由は何だったんだ。
なんでも外部団体からクレームが入ったんですって。人の記憶を人工知能に持たせるのは人間の複製を作り出すのと同じこと。神のみに許される所業だって。
Oh my god.
欧米って自分たちの価値観で物を言う人が多いのよね。特にそういうデリケートな部分は。
No comment, but that's true.
理由はそれだけなのか。
ええ、少なくとも私はそう聞いてるわ。いきなり研究は中止だって言われて、教授たちも随分怒ってた。
Who just texted me? Lukako! Okabe, there's something I want you to tell me. Shouldn't you ask your What? You okay with asking me? Ask Mary. I need to save. Hold up. I need to save. Sorry, Maho, but I need to save real quick because what is this text conversation with Lukako? What is happening here? Also, I really want to text you should ask your dad, but I'm gonna write, you okay with asking me? Okay. You okay with asking me? Yes. I think you can give me good advice. I don't want you expecting too much. What kind of gift do you think a father would enjoy? Your father, huh? I think the darkness within him goes very deep. Huh? The darkness? Oh, you know, darkness, black handkerchief? Maybe that would be a good idea. You just ran yourself into a corner. Maybe, yeah. A handkerchief. Great, I'll do that. But why black? I think your dad probably likes black. For real! Thank you! Thank you, Okabe. You're welcome, Lukako. Honestly, I want to know what would happen if we told Lukako that he should probably ask his father, but with the context of what he was asking about, I don't think that would have been a good choice. The Amadeus program was stopped. Did that have something to do with the world line change, too? Wait. So how did I meet Maho? We'd originally met at the Amadeus seminar. If that never happened...
どうしたの？
いや、思い出してたんだ。君と出会った時のことを。
あの時のこと。ああいう偶然ってあるのね。
I asked a few more questions, taking care not to rouse her suspicions, and managed to learn the basic story. Maho had really wanted to see the place where Kurisu had died. When she finally went to the radio building, she'd run into me.
オカルト的な考え方って大嫌いだけど、でもあなたと出会えたのはクリスが繋いでくれた縁なのかもしれないわね。
Karma. Or perhaps another example of attractor field convergence. It had already been decided that Maho and I would meet here in Akihabara. But was there some meaning in that?
そうそう。マイリさんたちによろしく伝えておいてくれるかしら。昨日は楽しかったって。
She went to the party.
Ah.
Evidently, she'd gone to last night's party in this world line too.
おかげで日本でのいい思い出ができたわ。
思い出って帰るのか？
すぐにじゃないけどね。言ったでしょ、私今クリスがやっていた研究を引き継いでるの。いつまでも日本でバカンス気分を堪能してるわけにもいかないのよ。
そうか。
But still, she was only in Japan for another 10 days. I hoped nothing would happen during that time. Something's gonna happen. Amadeus had been shut down and no longer existed. Oh wait, no! Is Luskin not here? Oh no! Why was that the first thing that came into my mind? No longer would I hear Kursu's voice. After I said goodbye to Maho, what that meant really started to sink in. I could still feel Kursu's warmth in my chest. Her smell. All the feelings I tried to forget were coming back. Now that I'd seen her. No one will ever be happy in that world line. Everyone will be miserable. That's what she had said. I knew that. That's why I decided to stay here. But that didn't mean I could erase the sense of loss I felt. I went back to the lab to get this all together in my head. The cause of the attack in the last world line was Kagari. And there was a good chance that Amadeus was involved in the world line change that took place afterward. But in this world line, the lab had never been attacked. And the Amadeus project had been cancelled while it was still in the research stage. That meant that two major factors in the events that had occurred so far no longer existed. If they were gone, maybe there was no need to worry too much. But even so, there was still a tiny alarm going off in the back of my mind. Why had Amadeus been shut down? What happened to Kagari's missing memories? If nothing else, I need to learn the answers to those two questions. I thought for a while, then took out my phone and booted up the Rhine application. Ooh, a Kagari point of view! Intriguing. Oh! So, we're getting a Kagari point of view. Interesting. Kagari Shina felt happier and more fulfilled than the people around her thought she was. Her memories were Her memories were missing. Why did I laugh? All she had now were the memories of when she was young. She'd gone to the past when she was 10, and then gotten separated from Susaha. Her memories afterward were a total blank, with the exception of the last few weeks. Her oldest memories after her childhood were of the ceiling she saw when she woke up. It was the ceiling of an old temple, with stains here and there that looked like faces. She remembered being a little scared. Shortly after that, she was given to Yandabashi Shrine.
Kagari さん、お茶飲みますか？あ、うん。ありがとう、ルカ君。じゃあ、入れますね。
That was when she met Luca Rushibara. At the time, she hadn't realized that she already knew him. Luca Rushibara was a good friend of her adopted mother, Mayuri Shina. He'd play with her a lot when they were kids. When she was younger, she'd always thought he was a woman. To Kagari's young eyes, he'd been a strong, grown-up woman. At the time, she'd always wondered why Susaha had called him Big Brother Luca.
はい、どうぞ。ありがとう。
But the Luca in front of her now was far younger than the one she had known. He looked like a very pretty girl, and not nearly as strong. So she'd only realized that he was the Luca Rushibara she knew after meeting her mother.
この紅茶、なんだか変わった味がする。ローズマリーティー。集中力や記憶力が上がるって聞いて、フェイリスさんに分けてもらったんです。
Improving your memory and finding lost memories seemed like totally different things to her, but she didn't say so. Just the thought made her very happy. Luca, Mama Mayuri, and the rest of Okabe's friends were all trying to help her get her memories back. It would probably make most people nervous, not having their memories. It would be hard, not knowing what you had experienced. But to be honest, Kagari didn't think she needed to remember. Sometimes, it seemed like a memory was about to come back. Each time, her mind would war with a sense of fear and anxiety.
もしかして、美味しくなかったですか?
Luca saw that she'd only taken a sip and stopped, and he seemed worried.
そんなことない。美味しいよ。ただ、ちょっと考え事をしてただけ。考え事？そう、でも大したことないんだ。
She took a sip of the tea, hoping to change the subject.
それにしても、ルカ君って本当に男の子
？Oh, jeez. That's a question to ask. Everyone else said he was. But still, it just didn't seem right to her.
そうですけど。やっぱりどう見ても女の子にしか見えないよね。そんなこと言われても。そうだ！ねえ、明日一緒にお風呂入ってみる？そうすればルカ君が本当に男の子なのかどうかわかるでしょ？ダメですよ、そんなの。どうして？だってそんなの、だって女の人と一緒にお風呂なんて、そんな。お姉さんとは一緒に入ってなかったの？
There's a difference. There's a lot of differences as to why he did that in the past, Kagari.
入ってましたけど、それは小さい頃の話で。
He was little and they're kind of related. さん？ごめんごめん、冗談だよ冗談。ルカ君が可愛いからついからかっちゃった。そんな。でもそういう反応を見せるってことはやっぱり男の子なんだね。最初からそうだって言ってるじゃないですか。 Even when he was upset, he still looked like a girl, she thought.
ご覧のように、こちらのお店では数十種類にも及ぶ食べ物が全部食べ放題なんです。
The TV screen had been showing all kinds of delicious food.
すごいな。
The music stopped, so something's going to happen. The sight of it almost moved her to tears.
今の時代ってすごいよね。私の知ってる未来とは大違い。そうなんですか？未来の世界ってどんな感じなんです？
Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, this is when the music stopped. Uh-oh, that's not good.
知りたい？
Luca looked a little uncertain. And even though she'd asked, Kagari wasn't certain she should tell him. The future she knew was filled with despair. Everyone struggled desperately to stay alive, hoping that tomorrow would somehow be better. If they knew there was no hope, how would they survive?
やっぱりやめておきます。
Smart choice. Kagari sighed in relief.
その方がいいよ。だって未来は変えられるものだから。未来は変えられる？
Oh?
うん。ママがね、そう言ってた。きっと変えられる。変えてくれるって。変えてくれる。
That's what Mary had always told Kagari. That was her tiny light of hope.
なんだっけな。シュタインなんとかって。シュタインズゲートですか？
Yes!
そう、それは必ずあるってママは言ってた。って言いながら、それが何なのか私もよくわからないんだけど。
The world line where all will be saved. Steins Gate. To be honest, Kagari didn't know exactly what that meant. But each time Mary said it, Kagari had felt warmth in her heart. Someone would come to lead them to Steins Gate. When she thought about that, it gave her hope.
さて、それでは次の特集です。
Oh, this looks like a college campus.
今、世界で記憶の再生技術に関する研究が進められているのはご存知でしょうか？
Yep, this is definitely a college campus.
今日はその最先端を走るあるアメリカの大学の特集です。
Victor Kandria? The new show had finished its food report and had already switched to another topic. Now it was showing a college campus covered in greenery. It was a wide open space that clearly wasn't Japanese. Oh. The second she saw it, she suddenly felt dizzy.
こちらはビクトル・コンドリア大学。一見普通のキャンパスに見えるこの大学。しかし、この学内では今、ある大きなプロジェクトが進められています。
Oh? The discussion became more technical. It was far beyond what Kagari, who had only her memories as a child, could understand. But
チャンネル変えましょうか。あ、待って。
Kagari stopped him before he could get to the remote.
カガリさん、わかるんですか？脳の構造、記憶を捏造することはできるかっていう話。
Oh?
へえ、すごいですね。僕には難しくて、何が何だか。
She suddenly found herself easily understanding what was being said. What? How? How could she understand this?
そう？そんなに難しい話じゃないよ。記憶は脳の中の海馬っていうところが司ってるんだけど、その中に視上界って呼ばれるところがあるのね。
Fascia dentata. Though in the tips it's called the gyrus dentatus. God. I don't know if I'm even pronouncing these correctly, but I'm trying. Granule-shaped cells found near the hippocampal gyrus. Anatomy treats them as distinct from the hippocampus, but the field of neurology often uses the term hippocampus to refer to both of them. Recent research has revealed that neurogenesis occurring in the gyrus dentatus plays an important role in forgetting things. Interesting. The dentate gyrus is part of the hippocampal formation in the temporal lobe of the brain that includes the hippocampus and the subiculum. The dentate gyrus is part of the hippocampal trisyntactic circuit and is thought to contribute to the formation of new episodic memories, the spontaneous exploration of novel environments, and other functions. It is notable as being one of a few select brain structures known to have significant rates of adult neurogenesis in many species of mammals, from rodents to primates. Other sites of adult neurogenesis include the subventricular zone and the striatum and the cerebellum. However, whether significant neurogenesis exists in the human dentate gyrus has been a matter of debate. 2019 evidence has shown that adult neurogenesis does take place in the subventricular zone and in the subgranular zone of the dentate gyrus. Interesting. This video is a Let's Read a Steins game, not a science video, so I won't go too far into what the dentate gyrus is, but I will be linking, at the very least, the Wikipedia page of the dentate gyrus. That's all I'm gonna do, because I'm gonna get back to the game now. Even though I bet there's gonna be more anatomy terms coming up, so I am prepared. She was surprised at what she was saying, but the words kept coming anyway.
そこで行われる神経細胞の生産が既存の神経回路の再編を引き起こすの。それによって記憶の忘却が誘発されるんだ。で、この研究チームがマウス実験をしてみたら記憶の捏造が見られたっていう話。あ、ほら、あの奥の部屋、あそこでマウス実験なんかをしてるの。かがりさん、もしかしてこの大学知ってるんですか？え？
She suddenly realized that Luca was looking confused.
だってなんだか詳しそうな口ぶりでしたし。
Kagari was an experiment! Okay, that's more or less of a theory and a slight spoiler for the Steins Gate Zero anime, but Kagari was an experiment in false memory experimentation, or something to do with the brain. She was used for brain experiments. I wonder what scientist could be responsible for that. Oh? The TV was showing something that looked like a lab. The camera went toward the back of the room. A white door was open that led to the next room.
この部屋で行われたマウスを使った実験。それによって研究チームは。
知らない。でも今。
That's right. She wasn't familiar with it. She didn't know anything about any place like this. But...
わからない。知らない。けど、なんでだろう。さっきは知ってるような気がしたの。
There was suddenly a piercing pain in the back of her head. It felt like the beginning of something terrifying. She suddenly felt very nervous. And back to Okabe.
いいか、おめえの頼みを聞いてやるわけじゃねえ。それだけは忘れるんじゃねえぞ。
Oh. What?
感謝します。
This morning, I had gone to Tenoji and asked him to protect Kagari if something happened. That meant I had to talk to him about his role as a rounder again. And I had to tell him that Kagari was caught up in something big too. But since this was the second time I had that conversation, I was able to make it go a little smoother. That was only relative to the first time, though. I never wanted to ask him for anything like this ever again.
おい岡部、おめえら一体何に関わってやがる？
それは。
I stopped myself.
話せねえってか。頼み事するだけして随分と虫のいい話だな。
すみません。
だがそれでいい。情報ってのは最後の切り札だ。そこでペラペラ喋っちまうようなら俺は降りてたぜ。ま、せいぜい気をつけるんだな。
ありがとうございます。
わかったから、そうやってかしこまんな。どうにもやりにくくてしょうがねえ。
I bowed to him once more anyway, and left the Brawn workshop. The Brawn workshop. I'd managed to get Tenoji's help. And this morning, I'd got another person on my side as well. Moka Kiryu. She was a lot easier than Tenoji. I checked with Daru last night, and found that just like in the Old World line, we'd hired her to find out more about Kagari. All I had to do was ask her to keep looking into what Kagari had been doing before she'd come to this town. Now I'd done everything I could in case something happened. All that was left was to pray that nothing did. I got back to the lab, where Lukiko was waiting. He had a very serious look on his face, and he said he needed to talk to me.
実はかがりさんの記憶のことで気になることがあって。
かがりの？
とは言っても、これが記憶を取り戻すことにつながるかどうかはわからないんですけど。
構わない。気になることがあるなら話してくれ。
はい。
Luca started to fidget and rub his knees together. Then he looked up at me and slowly opened his mouth.
ゆうべテレビで記憶の研究についての特集をやっていて、アメリカの大学で行われているものだったんですけど、それを見ていたかがりさんがまるでその学校を知っているような口ぶりだったんです。
アメリカの大学？どこの大学だ？
なんだか難しい名前の学校で、確かビクトル・コンドル？
ビクトル・コンドリア大学か？
そうです。その学校です。
Victor Kandria University. That was where Kursu had studied. Kagari knew Victor Kandria? If that was true, then how? The most obvious possibility was that she went there too. But how would a kid who went missing in Japan go to an American school? And one of the best at that? Of course, it wasn't impossible, but...
どうでしょう。何か手がかりになりそうでしょうか。
さすがにそれだけじゃ何とも言えないが。
そうですか。
Lukiko's shoulders slumped in disappointment.
でも手がかりにならないというわけじゃない。
それじゃあ。
ああ、確かめてみる必要はあるな。
改まってお話って何かな？
The best way to find out was to talk to her directly. Kagari was just about to start work, and she seemed put off by the fact that I suddenly asked to speak to her.
話はちょっと待ってくれるか？もう一人呼んであるんだ。
もう一人？
I didn't know a lot about Victor Kandria myself. I could ask Kagari what she knew about the school, but I couldn't tell if her information was accurate or not. He brought Maho! There was a better person she could ask. Someone who should be here any minute. Maho!
お邪魔します。
The best way to find out about the school was to ask someone who actually went there. In fact, Maho was to this day a part of their brain science lab.
あ、真帆さん、こんにちは。はい、元気？
Maho still didn't know that Kagari was from the future. I'd have to keep her from finding out.
それにしても、本当にクリスに似てるわよね。
Maho stared at Kagari, then whispered so that only I could hear. It made sense. I'd been surprised myself. I started by explaining to Maho why I brought her here.
じゃあ何？つまり彼女がうちの学校にいたかもしれないっていうの？ちょっと待って、そんなこと言われても私、なんとかトルコドリア大学なんて知らないよ。ビクトル・コンドリア大学。ほらね、名前だってちゃんと覚えてないんだもん。
Is Kagari purposely dodging the questions?
でも昨日は知っている様子だったんだろルカ子。
はい、奥にある部屋でネズミさんを使った実験を行っているって。そしたらその後本当にその部屋での実験の様子が映って。
カガリはそのことは？
覚えてない。
I couldn't imagine Lukako would lie, or that there would be any point to him doing so. But the same was true for Kagari too.
漆原さん、その研究室どこだったかわかる？詳しくはわからないんですけど、脳とか記憶とかそんな研究をしているって言ってました。ということは、もしかすると脳科学研究所かもしれないわね。
The brain science lab. That was where,
私が所属しているところよ。
and also where Kursu worked too.
それじゃあもしかしたらカガリはヒアジョーさんやクリスと会っていたかもしれないということか。
あくまでも家庭の話よ。脳科学を研究しているところは一つじゃないし、私のいるところだって陰性だけじゃなく一般の研究者もたくさん出入りしてるもの。私だって研究所にいる人間全員と顔を合わせたわけじゃないわ。ただ同じ日本人となると見かければ記憶には残っているでしょうね。
Which meant she... Wow. Okay, one second. Which meant she didn't remember it. Which meant she probably hadn't met her.
ルカ子、他にカガリのことで気になったことはないか？
カガリさん、時々びっくりするくらい難しいことを知っていたり。私だって難しいことくらい知ってるもん。
Kagari pouted. That was one expression that was totally different than Kursu's.
例えば？バラとか憂鬱とか。
What? Those were just words that were complicated to write in Japanese. Wait, what? Okay, wait, I want to see these. Okay. Yeah, this is the kanji of rose. Wow. Oh, that does not look fun to write. That definitely does not look like fun to write. Oh my god, okay, hold up. Out of pure curiosity, it's time for me to do it. Let's see how badly this goes. Oh god, yeah, I'm extending this video's length, but I'm just fucking curious. Oh no, this is not gonna look good. I apologize to anyone in the comments that's about to see what monstrosity I'm currently writing right now. But yes, here's my attempt at writing the rose kanji. And now it's time to see what depression looks like. What's the kanji for depression? Depression kanji. Oh god! No, this is not. Oh god. Oh Jesus, oh my god. I do agree. Those are words that are complicated to write in Japanese.
昨日はテレビで記憶の捏造について放送していたんですけど、それもなんだか詳しそうでした。記憶の捏造ね。確かにその研究をしているチームもいるわ。私たちも一度話を聞かせてもらいに行ったもの。
カガリ、今その話はできるのか？
それがよくわからないの。私、本当にそんなことを話してた？話してましたよ。
She put her hand between her eyebrows and thought. She really didn't remember, it seemed.
今までにこういうことはよくあったのか？
最近まではそれほど。この何日かで急に。
I didn't know how Kagari could know things about Victor Kanjiria, but it clearly had something to do with her missing memories. If I followed the trail a little longer, I might learn some clues. It was possible I might be able to bring back her memories. Suddenly, she started to moan in pain.
かがりさん、どうしたんですか？ちょっと頭が痛いんですか？
Lukako was looking at her face, worried.
ちょっぴり。
少し横になるか？
大丈夫。
少し話をせかせすぎたかもしれないな。
そうね。負担が大きかったのかもしれないわね。
Maho was looking worried too.
本当に平気？大丈夫です。ありがとう、先輩。
Oh.
だったらいいのだけど。
You just called Maho senpai. The conversation was so natural that Maho and I almost missed it.
おい、今。
先輩って。
Holy shit! Are they putting Kurzu's memories in Kagari? Holy shit! Is that what's going to reveal for this part of the game? They were trying to implant Kurzu's memories into Kagari. Okay, they didn't explore these concepts in the original anime. That's why I'm actually surprised by this. But are they putting Kurzu's memories into Kagari? False memories of Kurzu's into Kagari's mind?
カガリ、君今確かに先輩って呼んだよな、ヒアジョーさんのこと。
嘘、私そんなこと。
By how she's remembering a lot of, complicated neurological information, and by how she called Maho senpai, she might just be getting false memories from Kurzu's mind into hers. Kagari might be getting Kurzu's memories.
いいえ、間違いなく言ったわ。漆原さん、あなたも聞いていたわよね。
senpai, the Japanese word used to address an older classmate or colleague. I just learned that Maho and Kagari hadn't met at Victor Condria. Did that mean it was just a mistake? The sound of footsteps coming up the stairs distracted me. They were so heavy, there was no need to wonder who it was. Hey, Daru!
お邪魔してます。
おう、魔法タンも来てたん？
その呼び方はやめて。
足りるかな？ひふみ。
He ignored Maho's complaint and started to count the number of people in the room. There was some kind of paper bag in his hands.
よかった、大丈夫みたい。
何が大丈夫なんだ？
ほら、この前駅前にできたアトルあるでしょ？あそこに美味しそうなプリン売っててさ、たまにはと思って買ってきたんだけど、人数分あるかなって。
He put down the bag, opened the box, and started putting the pudding cups on the table.
ダル、後にしろ。
何みんな難しい顔して。僕がこんなん買ってくるの、そんな珍しい？
Poor Daru, he just came at the wrong time.
まあ確かにその通りだけど、ちょうどバイトで結構な臨時収入が入ったんだよね。仕事ができる上に気配りと収入を持ち合わせている僕に惚れてもいいの。あれ？
He turned the bag over and started shaking it.
スプーンが一人分足りない。さては店員のお姉さん、入れ忘れたな。
使ってないスプーンなら、確か流しのところに。あ、私、マイスプーン持ってるから。
Lukaku stood up to get a spoon from the sink, then suddenly stopped. He looked at Kagari with a confused expression.
かがりさん、マイスプーンなんて持ってましたっけ？
Come on, Okabe! Come on! Put the pieces together!
かがりさんが持ってたのって、ウーパのキーホルダーだけだったような。あれ？そうだよね。おかしいな。なんで私持ってるなんて。
Her own spoon. I heard someone say that before. Not many people carry their own spoons around. It was common in Japan to carry around your own personal set of chopsticks lately, but not spoons. But I knew. I had known someone who carried around her own spoon. It was Kurisu Makase. Just a moment ago, she called Maho senpai. Did Kagari know Kurisu after all?
なあ、ヒヤジョさん。向こうで君のことを先輩と呼ぶ人間は何人いた？
一人だけよ。先輩とか後輩とか、そういう呼び方とか関係は日本独特のものだから。
There was no need to even ask who it was.
私を先輩と呼んでたのはクリスだけ。クリス。
カガリ、君はマキセ・クリスのことを知ってるのか？
クリス、マキセ・クリス。
Did she know her? And was she... imitating her? Imitating! Yes, that's the word! But why would she need to do that?
マキセ・クリス。
Kagari seemed to be desperately searching her memories, but it didn't seem to be working. there was sweat on her forehead. Her headache might still be bothering her.
無理はしなくていい。急いで思い出す必要は。
このままにしとくのもなんだか気持ち悪い。何か思い出せそうなんですか？わかんないから、オカリンさん、何か話して。
一体何が何なん？
The fact that Kagari responded this strongly to Kurisu's name meant there had to be some relationship. What could there possibly be? The question was this. What had Kagari been doing ever since she separated from Suzuha in 1998? If she never met Maho, did she ever meet Kurisu? Maybe she became friends with Kurisu and learned a lot about her. Then she'd gotten Kurisu's stories mixed up with her own memories? Or I remember the machine that Kurisu had developed in the Alpha World line and came up with a certain hypothesis. I quickly told myself that it was impossible. My eyes met Maho's. She nodded.
カガリ、じゃあいくつか質問させてくれ。
For now, I wanted to learn how much Kagari knew about Kurisu.
君の父親はどこにいる？
パパは死んじゃった。子供の頃に。
If her memories were mixed with Kurisu, she wouldn't say that. Those were Kagari's memories. She said she remembered everything from before she was 10 years old. She only lost her memories after she separated from Suzuha in 1998. I'd have to go a little deeper.
それじゃあ、栗ご飯と言ったら何を思い浮かべる？
栗ご飯？何なの？
答えてくれ、かがり。
栗ご飯。カメハメハ。
Everyone else seemed confused, but I felt as if my heart was about to stop. How could she know? Curry Gohan and Kamehameha was Kurisu's @channel handle. Not only did she keep that a secret, she almost never let anyone know that she posted on that channel. She never would have told anyone. How could Kagari know something that only Kurisu should know? More sweat was pouring down Kagari's forehead. Luca offered her a handkerchief, worried. Kagari nodded and took it.
かがり、タイムトラベルの主な理論がいくつあるか知っているか
？Maho looked like she wanted to say something, but I motioned for her to stay quiet.
11。
Kagari spoke clearly, as if the answer was the most obvious thing in the world.
全部で11。あれ？違ったかな？
I hadn't expected much when I asked the question. I certainly hadn't expected that. The terrifying possibility I thought of earlier was becoming more and more real. It was impossible. It had to be. The more I tried to convince myself, the more my fears grew.
11の理論を具体的に説明できるか？
中性子星理論、それからブラックホール理論に高速理論、タキオン理論、ワームホール理論、エキゾチック物質理論。
Kagari was counting with her fingers and speaking with very little hesitation.
宇宙紐理論、量子重力理論、セシウムレーザー光理論、素粒子リングレーザー理論、最後にディラック反粒子理論。全部合ってる。
Maho's voice was hoarse.
ねえ、岡部さん、私どうしてそんなこと知ってるんだろう。
Kagari looked like she was about to cry a little.
もう一つ聞くが、それらの理論を用いてタイムマシンは作れると思うか？
できないと思う。
ほ
う。でもこの11の理論では作れないけど、今後の科学の発展次第ではできなくもないじゃないかな。
どうしてそう思う？
どうして？それはどうしてだろ
う。じゃあ質問を変えよう。その考え方に行き着いたのはなぜだ？
わかんないけど、ただなんとなく知ってたような。
She knew, huh? That meant the knowledge existed inside of her. But why did she have that knowledge? Had she been to Victor Kagura at some time in the past and met Kursu there? Maybe they were close friends? So close that Kursu would share her at-channel nickname, which she never told anyone? And then perhaps she mistook what she heard from Kursu for her own memories? That was the most obvious possibility. But that would go against what Kursu had said. Kursu said she didn't really have any close friends in America. She seemed to have developed a solid relationship with Maho at work, but the dark fear in my mind kept growing.
なあ、ヒアジョーさん。アマデウスは凍結されたと言っていたが、アップロードされていたクリスの記憶データってまだ存在するのか？
ええ、多分破棄はされていないはずだけど。
それってどれだけの人間がアクセスできたんだ？
ごく限られた人間だけよ。どこにも公表はしていなかったから。私やレスキネン教授、他に助手が何人か、そしてクリス。
ちなみにその記憶データを人間の脳に移植することって可能だったりするよな。
は？
In the other world line, Maho herself, or Dr. Leskinen to be precise, had said something about that at the ATF seminar. And I had experienced it myself. Through a machine that digitized human memories, sent them through time, and then back to the same person's brain. It didn't exist in this world line, but I'd once lived in a world line where it was developed in this very room. I used it far more times than I ever wanted to. And because of that experience, I came up with an idea. A terrifying idea. Another way to explain what was happening to Kagari now.
一体何を？
マイスプーンを持ち歩いていたのはクリスなんだ。大学でヒアジョーさんのことを先輩って呼んでいたのもクリスだけだ。栗ご飯とカメハメハはクリスがアットチャンネルで使っていたコテハンだ。知っているのは本人以外だと俺くらいのはずだ。
What is a handle? A handle is an online nickname. It's rare for people to use online nicknames on boards like @channel. If a user does not pick a nickname, they'll simply be displayed as anonymous. Kinda like 2chan or 4chan. And yes, I know about those websites. Who doesn't?
クリスならビクトル・コンドリア大学の研究室のことも知ってる。マウス実験のことも知ってる。11のタイムマシン理論についても知ってる。
オカリンさん、どういうこと？何が言いたいの？
俺の思いついた仮説だ。
I looked around the room at everyone, then back at Kagari.
カガリ、もしかしたら君の頭の中には マキセ・クリスの記憶が移植されているかもしれない。
ほー。
かなりの頭の中にマキセ・クリスの記憶が入ってる。
Ah, that's exactly where I want to end this video today. Holy shit. Okay. This is definitely not what happened in the anime adaptation of this game. I can say that now. And I'm gonna be fully honest, I'm really into this new storyline. Kagari having Kursu's memories. I want to see how that happened and the explanation as to why. I want to know how and why this happened. Now, am I allowed to go into theory mode? Am I allowed to go into theory mode? I'm gonna go into theory mode. There might be some mild spoilers for Steins Gate 0 in this quick theory mode, but I just want to say a few things. Now, it could be because of timeline divergence that this happened, or using the files of Amadeus. Leskinen might have decided to toy around with the concept of transferring one human's memories to another person. Now in the anime, he was kind of making Kagari into a mindless slave, while for right here, it may seem that Leskinen might be trying to bring back Kursu through Kagari. Now, I have no basis as to why Leskinen, well, maybe because she can continue on her research in another body. Yeah, okay, Leskinen does not have the best moral standards, so it would make sense as to why he would try implanting memories into an unknown child of a great scientist that died too young. He might be trying to force Kursu's brain and memories into an unknown child with barely any memories of her own. That is a high possibility that Leskinen might be doing that. Put a genius's brain into an unknown person. There's a lot of moral questions about that, and all I'm gonna say is, if you have no morals, why not try it? If you have morals, don't do it. Well, I don't think I should advise trying to force memories of one person into another person without both permissions. I think that's like a big cause of, a lot of legal and a lot of human rights issues if you try doing that. But since this is a video game, and since Leskinen does not have the highest moral standards, it would make sense as to why he's transplanting a dead genius's memories into an unknown person. Now, I'm not 100% sure if Leskinen knows about the time travel stuff in this world line, because if he knew about the time travel stuff, he might have not toyed around with Kagari as much with Kursu's memories, but if he didn't know about the time machine stuff, and he just found an unknown child, and he decided to just experiment a little bit, it could lead to the fact that he might be doing an immoral and secret experimentation of transplanting one person's memories into another. Leskinen is a mad scientist, and what mad scientist wouldn't take up this chance if he can get away with it? Leskinen right now, he might be getting away with it, but from right here what we're seeing, Okabe might be opening up a major conspiracy. A conspiracy a lot bigger than he anticipated.
Okay.